Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. Spellbinders has a brand new release called Seahorse Kisses, and I love everything in the release. There are 3 new Glimmer plates, a stamp set with coordinating dies, and also a 3D embossing folder. So here's a look at all of the sets. I've already put them on some magnetic sheets. We have a sentiment set called Seahorse Kisses Sentiments. Next is Seahorse Floral. It has a really large image and a few sentiments. The next set is called Under the Sea, and it has several smaller images. If you don't do hot foiling, there is a beautiful stamp set called Seahorse Garden. Lots of lovely images and 2 sentiments. Our friendship is deeper than the ocean and long time no see. And this set does come with coordinating dies, although unfortunately I didn't receive them. The last item in the release is a 3D embossing folder called Castaway, and this is so much fun. If you are interested in any of the items in the release, I do have links provided in the description box below. And I have made a few cards using the new items. I'll start off doing a little bit of hot foiling. I have my Spellbinders Glimmer machine turned on and ready to go. I'll be using the 2 small fish images. The Glimmer foil is from a variety pack by Spellbinders. This is the Moon Dust color. It's a beautiful teal color that has a little bit of an iridescent look to it. I'll start by adding the 2 fish hot foil plates onto the machine. I'll hit the timer button. Once that's all ready to go, I'll add the Glimmer foil with the shiny side facing the dies and a piece of cardstock. And I'm using some white pearlescent cardstock. Then I'll remove the plate and run it through my die cut machine. And now the magic happens. I'll peel off that foil and reveal the beautiful foiled images. I'm using a magnetic tool to pick up the hot foil plates since I don't want to touch those yet. So after I foiled the 2 small images, I have this leftover piece of foil where you can just see the outline of the 2 fish. So it's the negative piece. And I didn't want that to go to waste. Spellbinders has some solid hot foil plates, and that's what I'll use with that leftover negative piece. And I'll do the same thing, put the shiny side down, add a piece of cardstock on the back, and run it through my die cut machine. This set does have coordinating dies, so I'll use those to cut out all of the fish images. So now I have 2 fish images that are solid foil, and the other 2 with just the outline. I'll set those aside and start working on my card. I will be using some pattern paper for most of the cards. This is from Honeybee Stamps. It's their Vitamin C collection. Works perfectly with this release. For my first card design, I will be using a card sketch for inspiration. This is from OWH. It's number 156. I selected 2 pattern papers. The very background looks like water, and the smaller piece has a fun wavy design. I'll layer both of those on some dark teal cardstock. Put some ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. I've already stamped out the sentiment on some light teal cardstock. Our friendship is deeper than the ocean, and I'll adhere that to the lower portion of the wavy pattern paper. I will be adding several of the foiled images, but first I'll stamp some bubbles onto the wavy pattern paper, and I already have this stamp set up in my Mini Misty. I'll ink them up using Catherine Pooler's Bay Breeze ink color. Once I have those bubbles stamped, I can add the larger image. I used the Moon Dust Glimmer foil on some white pearlescent cardstock, and I did put foam dimension on the back of the image. Next, I'll add the individual fish images, and I'll put foam dimension on the back. On the larger fish, I'll leave foam dimension off of the nose area since I'll add a little bit of glue before adhering it down. I'll add the larger fish on the right side and the smaller fish in the upper left-hand corner. For a final finishing touch, I'll add some of Spellbinders Pearl Embellishments. This is the Fashion Topaz color. I'll put 2 in the upper right-hand corner and 3 in the lower left-hand corner. They do have adhesive on the back, but I'm also adding just a small drop of glue to make sure they stay in place. Spellbinders offers a wide variety of colors of pearls and also their gem stickers. And I love that the packs have 4 different sizes. So there is my finished card, and I did end up making a total of 4. Two of the cards, the large image is white with the foil, And the other two cards, I used the negative for that large image, so most of it is that beautiful moon dust foil color. This pattern paper works so nicely with all the underwater images. I personally don't color, but if you like to color images, I think these would be really fun. Now moving on to card design number 2. I selected 2 pattern papers from the Vitamin C collection by Honeybee Stamps. I have a seashell paper for the very background, and I'm adding, I think this is a 1 1/4 inch strip of a starfish paper toward the bottom. Instead of layering that piece on cardstock, I'm adding some Love from Lizzie peel-offs along the very edge. I'm using the Racing Green Mirror color in the pinstripe style. I'll wrap the ends around the back of the pattern paper, put adhesive on the back, and layer this piece on some dark green cardstock. Then I'll put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base. For the rest of the cards, I've already done the hot foiling just to save on time. This card will be featuring the large Seahorse image from the Seahorse Floral set. I love this image. It's absolutely beautiful. I used Spellbinders Essential Arches die set to cut it out. And this is a very large image. It takes up most of an A2 size card. I'll put some ATG tape on the back and also a little bit of glue along the very outside edge before adhering that piece onto my card. For a sentiment, I've already hot foiled it. This is Starfish Wishes and Seahorse Kisses. The Glimmer foil I used is Spellbinders Opaque white color. It looks so nice on craft colored cardstock. I cut out the sentiment using the coordinating die, and I also cut out a second piece from the same dark green cardstock, layered those 2 pieces together so I have a green drop shadow underneath the sentiment. I'll put some glue on the back and adhere it on the right side of the seahorse image. For a final finishing touch, I'll add some more pearls from Spellbinders. This is the Fashion Spruce color. Put 3 around the sentiment in the lower right-hand corner and 2 in the upper left-hand corner. So there is my finished card, and I did end up making a total of 4. For the other 2 cards, I used different pattern paper from the same paper pad, and I also used a different Glimmer foil. It's really hard to see the beautiful foil on video or even in photographs, but it is absolutely beautiful. I love all that shine. This is another image that would look beautiful all colored up, but I think it also looks nice with just the foil. This would also be a great image to use for Father's Day cards. Now moving on to card design number 3. I used the new Castaway 3D embossing folder on some teal colored cardstock. I'm really enjoying the 3D embossing folders. They add such beautiful dimension to your project. To really make that netting pop, I'm adding some metallic frost ink all over just that embossed area. I'm lightly pressing my finger into the ink pad and rubbing it all over that embossed area. There are some areas where I do get a little bit of ink in between the rope, but I'm not worrying about that. Next, I'll add some white gold watercolor splatter all over that panel. Once it's all dry, it has this beautiful shimmery look. Since it is an embossed panel, I'll use glue to adhere it to some black shimmer cardstock. Trying to make sure to press all those edges so it lays nice and flat. Then I'll put glue on the back of this piece and adhere it to my card base. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier, but all of my cards in this video are American Standard A2 size, 5.5 inches by 4 1/4 inches. Now I'll bring in several hot foiled images. I have 3 of the jellyfish and 2 of the small fish. And for one of the jellyfish, I did use the negative piece of the Glimmer foil. I'll attach 2 of the jellyfish on the left side of the card in the upper corner, and I'm just using glue to adhere all of these pieces down. I will add an acrylic block on top for some added weight while that glue dries. I'll adhere the other jellyfish on the right side of the card, and it'll be underneath the sentiment. And the sentiment is from the Seahorse Kisses sentiment set. I used some black Glimmer foil on white cardstock and cut it out using the coordinating die. I'll add the larger fish on the bottom of the card and the smaller fish above the sentiment. I'll add some more acrylic blocks just to make sure everything stays adhered. With all that beautiful shine and dimension, I decided the card didn't need any extra embellishments. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. Now here's another look at the 10 cards I made using Spellbinders' brand new Seahorse Kisses release. This is such a fun release. I love the beautiful images. There are 3 new hot foil plates with coordinating dies, a stamp set with coordinating dies, and also a fun 3D embossing folder. I love that the images are perfect for masculine or feminine cards. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links provided in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.